Pooh Shiesty had one on him. Big 30 had one on him. Only person who really gonna escape from this is the Pops. The Pops did not want none of this to go on. Nigga like this, bro. Gucci look at the dad like,
one of the biggest names in rap history, a man who built an empire from nothing, allegedly got targeted inside a recording studio by his own artist in a wild setup. It sounds unreal, and that's just the beginning. Reports claim Ty's dad may have played a role, with Big 30 posted at the door so nobody could walk out. A whole crew reportedly traveled from Memphis to Dallas just for this move. And after it all went down, stolen Rolex watches allegedly started popping up on Instagram like it was nothing. This feels like something straight out of a movie, but people are taking it seriously. Before jumping to conclusions, there's something important to understand. This wasn't some random argument or quick fallout. According to reports, this was described as a planned and organized situation. And to understand why things got so intense, you have to rewind and look at everything leading up to it. Stay locked in, because what authorities claim to have next is where things really shift. Let's break it down clearly, because some are missing how big this really is. Gucci Mane, born Roderick Davis, isn't just another rapper. He's a major force behind trap music and helped launch careers across Atlanta. Waka Flocka, Young Thug, Future, Migos, so many names trace back to him as a blueprint for success. He built 1017 Records from scratch, faced serious legal issues, served time, and came back focused. He changed his lifestyle, got married, and rebuilt his brand into something even stronger. And that new chapter is exactly where Pooh Shiesty enters the picture. Around 2020, Gucci Mane was rebuilding 1017 with fresh talent, searching for raw energy. That's when he discovered a young artist from Memphis, Lontrell Williams Jr., known as Pooh Shiesty. At that time, Pooh Shiesty was moving solo. No major label, no big cosigns, just raw Memphis energy and real buzz online. People were paying attention, and Gucci saw it instantly. In April 2020, he signed him to 1017 in partnership with Atlantic, and from that moment, things took off fast. Then, everything changed in a way nobody expected. Within 6 months, Shiesty had a top 15 Billboard hit. No exaggeration. In November 2020, he dropped Back in Blood with Lil Durk, and it shot up to number 13. Then came Beatbox 2, climbing to number 12, 2 major hits right out the gate. By February 2021, he released Shiesty Season, debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200. For a 20-year-old artist who had no major backing just a year before, that jump was huge. So was Gucci Mane really about to let him walk away from a deal like that? Not likely. That part makes sense, but here's where the story gets deeper. Pooh Shiesty didn't come alone. He brought his cousin Big Scar with him. Big Scar, born Alexander Woods, was another Memphis artist grinding hard and building his name. He had already survived serious challenges, including a major car accident at 16 and a life-threatening situation in 2020 that required emergency surgery. Still, he kept pushing. Pooh Shiesty believed in him and made sure Gucci heard his music. Gucci saw the talent and signed him quickly. Now you've got Shiesty bringing his circle with him, putting Memphis on the map, while Gucci Mane stands as the one opening those doors. But here's where things start getting complicated, because everything came with structure and those contract terms were serious. But right in the middle of all that success, pressure started building fast. While Back in Blood was still climbing, things began shifting on the legal side in October 2020. Reports claim he and 2 others went to a hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, tied to a deal involving merchandise and other items. Authorities say the situation escalated. 2 people were injured and items were taken before they left. Surveillance reportedly caught key details, including a bright green McLaren speeding away. Then, Memorial Day weekend 2021, another incident in Miami, this time at a nightclub where a security staff member was injured during a dispute over payment. By July 2021, everything changed. A federal indictment dropped with serious charges tied to weapons and organized activity. Now, a 21-year-old rapper with 2 major hits was suddenly facing the possibility of life in behind bars. That timing was intense. In January 2022, he took a plea deal, admitting to one conspiracy-related firearms charge. The result? 63 months in federal prison. At just 22 years old, his career came to a sudden stop. No music, no shows, no income, but the business didn't pause. His 1017 contract stayed active, still running while he was locked away.
And then things took an even heavier turn. December 22, 2022. Big Scar, his cousin, and the same artist he helped bring to 1017, passed away at just 22 in Memphis due to an overdose. This is someone who survived so much, pushed through life-threatening moments, and finally got his chance, only for it to end like this. And the hardest part? Pooh Shiesty was still in federal custody when it happened. He couldn't attend the funeral, couldn't support his family in person, and had to process everything from behind bars. Then things took another turn once the story hit the internet. Big Scar's brother, Quez Ruthless, went live on Instagram claiming Gucci Mane had promised to help cover funeral costs, but then stopped responding. When the family followed up, it was alleged Gucci said he couldn't fully cover it due to personal expenses tied to his wife's birthday. That alone had people talking, but it didn't stop there. Quez also claimed Gucci asked for the 1017 chain back, the same chain Big Scar received when he signed. Think about that. Emotion still fresh, and now this situation comes up. That detail hit hard. Big Scar's sister Alexandra spoke out and confirmed the request was made, but made it clear the chain would stay with the family. To be fair, Gucci's team pushed back. His wife even shared proof that $20,000 was paid toward the funeral, while reports said the total cost was around $60,000. Still, the conversation about the chain didn't go away. It spread, especially in Memphis, and even reached Shiesty while he was locked up. Now imagine his position. That's his cousin, someone he helped bring into the spotlight. And during such a painful time, the focus reportedly shifts to money and jewelry disputes. Then fast forward, October 6th, 2025. Pooh Shiesty walks out of prison after over 3 years, now 25, focused and ready to step back into the spotlight. The rap game didn't pause while he was gone, but his name still carries serious weight. After release, he's placed in a residential re-entry program in Dallas, Texas, with strict rules: an ankle monitor, home detention, limited movement. He can't just move freely. He can't leave without approval, can't be around weapons, and can't afford any legal trouble. One wrong move could send him right back to prison with even more time added. Then December 2025 hits, and he drops First Day Out. The track debuts at number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100. First release back, and it charts instantly. No surprise, the fan base is still locked in, and the momentum is still strong. But here is where things start getting serious. Even with that success, he's still tied to his 1017 deal, and reports suggest he wanted out in a major way. Think about everything leading up to this, years away, feeling stuck in a deal signed when he was younger, watching everything unfold around his cousin, and then coming home to the same situation still in place. That kind of pressure builds up fast. He wanted control of his future, and reports claim he was willing to make big moves to get it. Now this is where things take another turn. According to federal reports, it didn't just involve him. His father, Trail Williams Sr., was also allegedly connected from the start. Known for founding Mob Ties Records in Memphis, prosecutors claim he helped organize parts of the situation. Reports say he allegedly arranged a vehicle used in Dallas, pointing to what authorities describe as a coordinated effort that have people reacting heavy. And it doesn't stop there. Investigators point to phone records and license plate data showing multiple people traveling from Memphis to Dallas just days before January 10th. This wasn't random. This looked planned, with coordinated movement and a clear purpose. Then there's Big 30, real name Rodney Lamont Wright Jr., a longtime friend of Pooh Shiesty, someone he grew up with in Memphis. Their bond runs deep. They've been locked in for years. But here's what stands out. Big 30 isn't signed to 1017. He's with Moneybag Yo's Bread Gang, with no public issues tied to Gucci Mane. Nothing directly connects him to that situation, yet reports claim he still showed up.
Not for business, not for a deal, but because someone close to him called. Now look at how everything lines up. You've got the father allegedly handling logistics, people traveling in from Memphis, Big 30 stepping in, and Pooh Shiesty on home detention with an ankle monitor, under strict rules, not supposed to move freely, not supposed to be involved in anything serious, and yet everything builds toward one moment. January 10th, 2026, Dallas, Texas, a recording studio becomes the center of it all. Gucci Mane and two industry professionals arrive expecting a business meeting about contract terms. Everything was presented as normal, set up as a conversation about the deal, and Gucci shows up with off-duty officers for security. At first, everything looks clean and businesslike, a normal studio meeting, nothing unusual on the surface. But according to federal authorities, that calm didn't last long. Reports say the situation quickly flipped into something much more serious. Prosecutors describe it as a planned and coordinated move involving multiple people, not random, not sudden, but organized. Authorities allege that during the meeting, pressure was put on one individual to sign paperwork tied to a recording contract under intense circumstances. That was reportedly the focus, getting out of the deal by any means. While that was happening, investigators claim others in the room were dealing with the remaining individuals, with valuables like watches, jewelry, and cash reportedly taken. One person was even said to have been restrained during the chaos, and that's when things really start to unravel, because moments like this don't just disappear. According to investigators, the aftermath left a detailed trail. Surveillance footage, phone records, and digital activity all started lining up piece by piece. Movements tracked, timelines built, everything coming together step by step. With so many people allegedly involved, it wasn't something that could stay hidden for long. Then comes the part that got even more attention. Reports claim some of the items, including high-end watches, were later shown online. That only brought more eyes to the situation and gave investigators even more to examine. From there, it escalates into a full federal case involving multiple individuals. Evidence starts stacking up and charges are being prepared. What was supposed to be a simple business meeting quickly turns into a serious legal situation with real consequences. Now think about what's at stake. Careers, reputations, entire futures hanging in the balance. One moment like this can change everything, especially when it plays out so publicly. At this point, the focus shifts completely away from music and straight into the legal system. Courtrooms, evidence, testimonies, every detail under a microscope. This isn't just another headline. This is something much bigger unfolding in real time. Authorities also reported visible injuries, including marks on wrists and necks. Reports claim Big 30 remained by the door, allegedly blocking it the entire time so no one could leave or call for help. Under federal law, that kind of role can carry serious weight. And those off-duty officers brought in as security, they were there the whole time, trained professionals witnessing everything as it happened, their accounts now part of official testimony. That alone raises the stakes, but there's more. Investigators didn't just rely on statements, they had digital tracking too. The ankle monitor, required as part of home detention, reportedly placed Pooh Shiesty at the exact studio location. The same device meant to keep him compliant allegedly showed he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. That detail stands out heavy. It turns into key evidence. Then add in phone records, vehicle data, and travel logs, all pointing to coordinated movement from Memphis to Dallas. Even rental records reportedly show his father arranged a vehicle tied to the trip. Investigators say surveillance cameras picked up movement across multiple spots: the studio, a nearby office, a supply store, even a hotel. Piece by piece, the timeline started locking in. Then forensic teams stepped in. Reports claim fingerprints were recovered at the scene, and some match individuals tied to the case. That alone added serious weight, but what really got attention was what happened next. According to reports, within hours of the incident, some individuals allegedly involved were already posting online. DeMarcus Glover appeared in photos wearing jewelry believed to be connected, while Terrence Rogers shared a video showing a Rolex authorities are now looking into. That kind of exposure only brought more heat and more attention. And it keeps going. Travel records show multiple people leaving Dallas shortly after. Bus logs reportedly indicate a return trip to Memphis the very next day. Those details are now part of the federal case. Then, April 1st, 2026, everything escalates fast. Federal agents move across multiple locations, focusing on Memphis and beyond. Authorities reportedly approached the Williams family home in Cordova, Tennessee, where Trail Williams Sr. was taken into custody. At the same time, Pooh Shiesty was taken into custody in Dallas, the same city where he was supposed to be completing his re-entry program and getting back on track. His ankle monitor had reportedly been tracking everything the whole time. For months, that data was quietly building a timeline. Then suddenly, everything moved fast. Big 30 was taken into custody, along with 7 other alleged co-conspirators across Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. 8 out of 9 individuals were in custody within a single day. The 9th, Terrence Rogers, was still being sought at the time. The charges? Serious. Allegations include abduction, robbery, and conspiracy, each carrying heavy federal consequences. If convicted, those involved could be facing life in prison. That's how serious this situation has become. And here's what makes it even intense. Pooh Shiesty had already avoided a life sentence before by taking a plea deal in a previous case. Now, at just 26 years old, only months after release and still under monitoring, he's once again